Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Well, today, as you guys can see, I got a new drone in front of me, but this is not just any drone. This is the DJI Mini 2. Finally got my hands on the Mini 2. I get the Mini 2, and of course the Mini 3 has been out for a while now. But man, this drone is pretty much unbeatable at under $400. Yeah, you heard that right, under 400 bucks. That's what I got this for, around $400 with tax. It was $379 plus tax from Costco for this bundle. This isn't a Fly More combo. This is a special bundle that's available for Costco members only. But man, 379 bucks, that'd be a deal for just the drone itself. But this is the drone, this really nice carrying case, as you guys can see that it comes with a 32 gig SanDisk Extreme micro SD card and an extra battery. I mean, come on, an extra battery? I mean, that alone, I haven't looked at the price, but that can't be cheap for just the battery itself. So that's a heck of a deal on this drone. This drone is fantastic. There's a plethora of videos on YouTube that shows this drone and what it can do. 10-kilometer range with OcuSync, so you don't have that lag that we deal with the original MAVIC Mini. I had the MAVIC Mini. I actually sold it after I got this because, you know what, I don't need it anymore because this is pretty much unbeatable. You have a little competition at the 400 class. You've got, like, I got the FIMI X8 SE 2020 up here. You might be able to see it. Like the 2022 version, it's a little better. It'd be one you might be able to compete a bit with this one, but it's not as good. And that one's not as, generally can be more than 400, and it's over 250 grams. This is 249 grams with the SD card in it. That's under that 250 limit, so you're not restricted with that remote ID stuff that's coming along. And I've got the FIMI X8 Mini up here. That drone's hit and miss when I first got mine, and it was great. It has a really good camera. In fact, that camera could be even a little bit better than this one if you get a good one, but you know what, mine just, I can't get it to connect to anything. It won't connect to any of my phones. It was always a problem to connect to my Pixel, but it won't connect to even the Samsung phones I tried now. It's just completely useless. So I had to get myself a good sub 250 gram drone that I could take out and fly, because, like, again, this is unbeatable. You want an AP drone, we're talking about an aerial photography drone, under 400 bucks, this one is simply unbeatable. My go-to drone before was my Autel EVO, and I can do 4K at 60, this does 4K at 30. That drone was great, but you know, it doesn't work anymore, it won't connect to the controller, so I had to get myself a new drone, and again, this was just unbeatable for the price. To me, not having that lag, you know, the original MAVIC Mini, you go a half a kilometer and you're trying to film something, the input, not some of the input lags, but the Wi-Fi lag to your video feed, that alone right there, I mean, made it very difficult to film, even when I flew a half a kilometer to the fairgrounds to film like Demolition Derby or something. Just trying to frame stuff up with the Wi-Fi lag was just so bad, and this with the OcuSync is not going to have that. This also has the newer controller. This controller would also be compatible with the DJI Mini Pro, which you wouldn't need. The Pro comes with the controller, but like the Mini 3 that just was released, you can buy that without the controller for $550, I think it was, it's around there, and that controller would work. So if you ever wanted to upgrade to that one, you could, but man, again, this one's going to be tough to beat at that sub $400 before tax price point. So enough jibber jabbering, let's get the camera repositioned and take a close look at what all comes with this kit, because last I saw this was still available from Costco, but I don't know if it still is. We'll see what everything's in here, then I go outside and show you guys some footage, just how well this drone films. So be right back. Okay guys, as you can see, as you saw in the intro there, of course the drone comes in this little sort of transparent little case in the front of it. You just unsnap and you can pull the drone out. Now, I picked this up, you know, like I said, from Costco. It was like a Black Friday after Thanksgiving sale, but I've seen the sale again, so it wasn't just a one-day sale. And I've just been waiting a while to actually not only get it up in the air and fly it, but to show you guys here on the channel so that you can see everything is exactly as I got it. You even have the little, you know, paper here holding the props together. I've not broken any of the seals at all. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at this, guys. So you just pull this little tab and get that piece off. Now the props break loose. You have one here in the rear where the the first, I should say the one of two batteries is. Let's pull that off, and it opens this compartment. I want to go ahead and get the decals and such off of it. And inside here you've got that battery, so we can just push up on this little release tab and pull that battery out. And this battery, I believe this is going to be another lithium ion pack, just like the original one, but to be honest with you, it's too fine print here for me to exactly read exactly the details on this battery. But again, pretty similar to the original mini battery, but you get two of them in this kit. And again, this feels like, just like before, a lithium ion pack. And then you have your micro SD card in here, and it's already inserted in the drone. And I don't know if this will show up, but it is a 32 gig card in this. So plenty of room, you know, as long as you don't want to compile tons of footage without removing it from the card, then it should be good on this. Let's make sure we get it the correct way, and it does go facing downwards in it. Then you have a USB-C connection here on this, because I think you will charge the battery, if it's like the Mini, you will charge it with the battery inserted into the drone. So let's go ahead and open it up. There's going to be some more things to remove. Yeah, we have to remove the other little seal on the bottom props here, well, the other set of props, I should say. And then you just swing this out here. Let's turn that around and do the same. So you're going to swing this out. Actually, you put the front prop arm out, swing the rear one out, just like the other Minis. As you can see, it says ultra light 249 grams here. Hopefully that shows up. And of course, that weight would be with the gimbal guard removed, because obviously you're not going to fly with the gimbal guard on anyway. But again, it's very important. You get under that 250 gram here. In most countries, in the United States in particular, if you're below 250 grams right now, there's no regulations on remote ID and being able to tell where your drone is and broadcast your ID so you know who you are, if they look it up, who's flying it or who owns the drone. So none of that is to be a concern right now on the sub 250 gram class of drones. So let's go ahead and look over the drone a little closely, and then I'll go ahead and get the controller. You guys see that? And then the extra battery in that. We're not going to spend too much time because, again, there's a million videos on the Mini too. But just what I wanted to at least show you guys I got here on the channel and show you guys a little bit of the footage. So you take that gimbal guard off there, and there is the 3-axis gimbal. And again, this shoots 4K at 30 frames per second, and there'll be higher frame rate, lower resolution options, I'm sure, but that's your max is 4K at 30. So it doesn't do the 60, but you know, if you fly slow, you don't yaw real quick, 4K at 30 is just fine. There's your on and off switch and the 4 indicator lights. You've got a little pinhole optical flow camera here, and then 2 infrared sensors there on each side of it. So yeah, otherwise pretty similar than the original MAVIC Mini. It was called, of course, they got rid of the MAVIC branding on the 2 and the 3. But the drone is a little bit higher wind resistance, a more stable flyer than the original MAVIC Mini, and again, it has that really extreme range. And because you're not using that darn Wi-Fi, you're using the OcuSync, which is awesome. And there's a little, I think it looks like a little indicator, a little light like the original one in the rear of the drone. And of course, everything else is pretty basic with your brushless motors and your swing out props on this little guy. So not much else to show you there. Inside of here, now I did remove some of the, before I started the video, there was some packaging stuff. So like in this, I don't think there's anything actually in this side one when you get it, but it's another pocket you can use. On the rear of the drone here, you got just this tag, which is for the case. So you can actually cut that off. But inside of here is where we're going to have the some stuff in here, your instruction manuals for the Mini 2. And then you've got your controller in here. And I'm trying to remember, I think it was below it, or I'm trying to remember where the extra battery is, because I was fiddling around with this, you know, and looking it over. You get a USB-C cable in here. And again, here is the controller. I'm trying to remember where the extra battery was, and oh, it's down. I think it may. Let's see, down below the drone, you have a little box here. This little foam piece in between it, and there's some props and stuff in here. This is kind of hard to get out. This little box. I remember trying to put it back in. I was looking at stuff over the other day. And let's go ahead and open this up and see what's in here. Yeah, there is the extra battery. I was thinking it was in the below the controller, but no, it's right here. So here's your extra battery. You don't really no reason to get it out. And you've also got your little thumb sticks for your gimbal sticks on the controller. You have some other. These are your actual phone connection cables that goes from the controller into your drone for your live video feed, and you get a USB-C here and a micro USB. I didn't notice a lightning cable with mine, which is quite strange. I thought for sure they would have included that, so unless I overlooked it here, I don't know why they wouldn't have that, because that would mean you wouldn't be able to connect it to an iPhone without that. So that's something I'm a little uncertain about, so that's something that I'd have to check into, because I don't know why that's not included. You get some extra props and a Phillips screwdriver. And here again, I don't see the one, but you know what? We'll open this up, because it could be that it's possible that the lightning cable is already connected to this or something. So I'm a little uncertain. I've not opened up the controller. I just love this controller. I can tell. I wasn't a huge fan of the original MAVIC Mini controller. It was okay, but I know people really like this one. This one's really nice. So let's go ahead and get this off here. Well, that feels just fantastic in my hands. That's just, oh, that's so nice. Such high quality construction. It's just, when you use these toys as much as I do and you fly them, you really notice the step up when you go to something like this quality. So it looks like you have a set of them here, and they must give you an extra set in case you lose one of these, since you can screw them up. The little sticks that go onto the gimbals. USB-C, this is going to be for charging it. You got some of your controls here, which of course I have to go over everything. You can see it's got some battery, it's got 2 lights. Your sport mode, normal mode, so stuff you can do here without having to depend on the app. Looks like a pause and a return to home button. Your power, of course, that I bumped. This is going to be to some other stuff here. So again, I'm not super familiar, but this will be to pull this out and put your phone in there. You got some other stuff here. You got a dial here, and your photo video. This will be to tilt your gimbal. And yeah, I see a cable here. I'm hoping that this is the lightning cable, and yes, it is. So my intuition or hunch paid off. Yes, you do get a lightning cable. I think, man, is DJI going to screw over half the people out there who are probably going to own an iPhone? No, they're not that dumb. They make you have to buy one, especially considering that these are common in Apple stores. DJI sort of partnered with Apple, and DJI always worked really well on Apple devices. So yeah, and if I'm missing anything here, I apologize. I've not looked over anything more than just trying to get this open and give you my first impressions. There's a function button up here, and this one looks like I'm not sure what that is, because your photo video I think is here, unless this is, yeah, I'm not sure. It almost looks like a camera, so I don't know. We'll have to look that up, because usually you'll do something with this button to do between a photo and video, but maybe there's something that toggles between those. Again, I don't know exactly. So you just pop these out, and then we can screw these on, which I'm going to go ahead and do now. And I can tell you these gimbals are going to feel fantastic on this. Yeah, that's so nice. So I have to get myself a little more familiar to see, imagine with the phone, and exactly how the phone probably sits across these rubber bumpers here, and then just presses up into here and holds your phone in place. And you can see, well, you can get a really big, might be able to get up to a iPad mini or something size in there. So I don't know exactly how long it'll take you to charge this. Obviously this should hold a pretty good charge. You should be able to get a lot of flights out of that. But the Mini 2 also has a longer flight time on this. I don't remember. It's going to be in that 20 to 30 minute. Again, I just have to look over some of the specs. I apologize on that because I'm trying to give you my first impressions more than exactly every detail of this drone. Though the fact that I'm going to be able to fly this out well farther than I have the other drones and not have to worry about signal breakup or losing signal or the extreme lag that I always got with the other device drones that were Wi-Fi based and made it unusable even like a half a kilometer. All right, guys, that wraps up the quick table overview here of the Costco Mini 2 package. Let's get outside now and show you guys some flight footage and let you guys see just how beautiful this drone flies. So I'll be right back. All right, guys, I want to interject something here really quickly before we get outside for that flight footage, because there's a couple of things that I was a little uncertain about or even incorrect here just a moment ago during the table review. I should have done my homework a little better. These batteries are 2S LiPos. These are not lithium ion. They sort of felt so much like the original Mini battery that I thought this was a lithium ion pack again. The original Mini just used 2S lithium ion or Lion packs, as some people like to call them, because those are a little less susceptible to having problems that are not kept at storage voltage. So this one is actually a bit different. It actually has a more standard drone battery, a LiPo battery. Those are similar but a little bit different type of batteries, because this actually is a smart battery. This will discharge down to storage voltage, whereas the original Mini battery was not a smart or intelligent battery, and this one is. Another upgrade over the original. So the original one, the lithium ion packs, you could keep those at various voltages and it didn't really hurt them. Now they can go to what they like to use, a LiPo pack, and as long as you take this battery out of the drone, it will discharge down. My understanding is, my friend John Kuby, who owns one of these, told me it has to be out of the drone for it to actually go down to that storage voltage on this. So this is a type of intelligent battery, and that is good to know that this is a smart battery, so to speak, in some respects. And the flight times, I may have put some text up there when I was mentioning it, but just to reiterate that, I was a little uncertain on the flight time of this one, but the Mini 2's flight time is advertised at 31 minutes. I thought it was going to be a little less than that because I thought that the Mini 3 was around that. The Mini 3 is actually rated at 34 minutes, and this one's rated at 31 minutes. That's over a half an hour of flight time. That is just incredible. And I believe it'll start doing return to home or low battery warnings at around 25% of that battery level on that. All right, that's why I don't want to interject with that. Now let's get on out back to the video and get you guys outside to see some flight footage. All right, let's get the Mini 2 out here for a little test flight. Capture some footage and let you guys see this if you haven't. All of you probably have already seen those ton of Mini 2 videos out there, being that I'm really late to the game. But the table review that you guys just saw, which was more just discussing this Costco bundle, because there's not really a need to do a full review on something that's been out this long. After I filmed that, I went to fly it, and my Mini 2 was bad. Not necessarily the whole drone bad. My front left motor here would not fire up. If you are a subscriber to my channel, then you probably saw my community post about that. I sent it back to DJI for repair, which was the best option to get it back and keep all the Costco bundles, since that deal is harder to get now. In fact, it probably is dead. But you can probably get similar ones again, which is the reason why I'm posting about that deal. Got it back. It was a bad cable from probably the 4-in-1 ESC to the motor. Just had a bad connection, is what the repair notes said in the pictures. So I had to send it back, all free of charge. It was a breeze. I just sent the drone back. You keep the batteries, your SD card, everything, so that you don't lose it. And they end up sending you a refurbished model. Once they repair it, they don't actually send you the repaired one back. Anyway, it's all good to go now, so I just wanted to say that. So the table review stuff could be a little dated, being that was filmed nearly a month ago. It didn't take that long to get it back from DJI. It took about 2 weeks, but I filmed that a little while back. So anyway, one thing I didn't mention is on the front here, you have this LED, and then of course you have one here in the rear. You can change the color of this. I have it set to purple, inside the app, you can change that to orange and green, or you can have it breathe or cycle through different colors, which is pretty cool. You can probably see it better here when I get into the shade. That's pretty neat. Anyway, I'm gonna take it out and fly it in towards my hometown here. I usually fly out towards the county fairgrounds, but I thought I'd go this way because I've not really taken a drone out this way, which would be east, or a little more southeast the way I'm looking right now, and just kind of discuss what we're all looking at, let you guys see the camera and how everything looks on this. So let me go ahead and put it down here, and we'll fly it out here. It's in the low 40s Fahrenheit, just a light breeze today, so there should be no issues. That's one reason it kept even getting it up even after here I got it back, because I've had it back for a few days. It's been the weather. It's we had quite a bit of rain, and then now we had a lot of high winds. So we got it set to 4K at 30. I'm not gonna do any app recording. We're just going to use the audio for my camera, and we'll get it up there and use some onboard footage. So first thing I want to do is make sure that we are in video mode, and we are. Let's go ahead and start recording video. Let's just do that auto takeoff. I've already done the compass calibrations and stuff previously, and DJI will let you know if you need to do any of that stuff. So let's just take it out here. I have it in the normal mode, which should be fine. Just gonna fly it up over the cemetery here. Now in normal mode, you just, yaw and stuff at a decent pace. But the cinema mode is gonna be for really ideal for filming, and that's going to be really slow yaw. And it's just going to be slower movements so that you have a nicer shot if you're really concerned about filming. Let's get up higher here. We can see some of these telephone poles and such. Just going to fly up here towards, I'll see if I can view the gimbal here. I'm going to tilt it down some. This right here, I'm kind of going off to the side a little bit there. Got a very small break up there, which is a bit odd, not very far away. Have a clear line of sight. That is the roundabout here in my hometown of Waterloo. We'll go up towards the four-way light here from Route 3 and Park Street coming from Valmeyer. Off to the right there, you see that red roof. That's the old train depot, which is now run by the Lutheran Church as like a thrift shop for fundraising for the church. So let's kind of go. This is Park Street here. Now, if you look at if you're able to see my phone here through the head cam, those white and black stripes are overexposure warnings where it's just getting glare off the sun. Let's raise the gimbal up a little bit. So we have 10-kilometer range here, so we have no problems where that was the biggest problem with the original MAVIC Mini. What's as nice as that one was, I'm gonna pause it here for a moment. I'm not gonna pause it per se, but just stop and hover. It was Wi-Fi based, and you had so much lag. If I started to fly it this far, you could do it, but the input lag was just so bad that trying to frame a shot and stuff was just extremely difficult. If I turn it back this way, this is some of the older houses here. You see the grain mill up there. Off this way, right up ahead there, you can see the city of Waterloo's water tower. This right down here, they just cleared out this, I forget, I have to look at Google Streets to remember what business was there. They cleared that out over the Christmas break. Let's just get up high. We should be well above the trees here. We are up 180 feet. We are well below any height restrictions. Just fly it out here. I'm trying to see over here, up there, right in front of me here. This is the city utilities. And thankfully and luckily, our city here, we can make our own electricity. I'm gonna lower the phone down. It's getting kind of hard to hold the controller and phone up so high. I don't believe we supplement or use it all the time. I don't know if we supplement. We buy our electricity from another provider, but we can make electricity here if we need to in an emergency. And a couple of years ago, about just a little over 2 years ago, we had a big Arctic outbreak that really strained the electrical grids, and that's the one that really hit Texas in the United States hard. And our city here started making its own electricity. And being that I'm just looking here, if you look at my, I don't know, if I switch to my head cam, it'd be straight across the cemetery here. I'll turn around and let you guys see it again if you care. Right here, again, the city stuff. Down here, these were running the generators, and you could hear them all the way over here at my house, which is not that far. They were making electricity, or at least supplementing the power, so that we could keep electricity up, because obviously we had 2 weeks of below freezing, but we had days of below zero temperatures and highs with a decent amount of snow on the ground. And that really could have been dangerous and life-threatening. So now I'm flying over this little, some sort of a pond or water, something that the city uses here. It might be for, I'm not exactly sure. That's not the sewage treatment ponds. In fact, I haven't paid attention in a while. I forgot that was even there. Flying back up towards my subdivision now. But yeah, it was pretty cool. We were able to make our own electricity. So in a pinch, we're able to be self-sufficient, which is pretty darn awesome. Got 57% on the battery here. Again, with this OcuSync, it's just so nice that I've only had a couple little minor glitches, you know, in the feed, which is what you want to see. Nothing more than that, I should say. You don't want to see that, but I mean, you want to see very few breakups, because it's just an amazing system, and it makes it hard to recommend anybody else. Autel has some good options, and after that, if you're looking for aerial photography drones, nothing else. FIMI has some decent one, you know, the 2022 FIMI, but I couldn't fly even the original MAVIC Mini, being, like I said, being DJI. There's just no way. The lag was just, ugh. If I go to Cine mode here, now look, we're really slowed down. Here's the yaw. This is actually good. Now, since I'm just flying around and showing you guys stuff, obviously I'm not worried about filming like cinematics. So if there's a lot of herky-jerky quick movements, it's just because I'm kind of narrating here. If I were filming this for a more cinematic look, I'd be going a lot slower. You can see here I'm in cinematic mode. Here's this big lake over here. It's a boat club. Here's their lake house up here and their boat ramp. And there's a tree down there that obviously they left that for some reason, because they flooded this and made this lake. You can see it down here. And this was all during that outbreak, was frozen solid. You could walk right across it. It's cool to see that tree sticking out of the ice. Now, we're getting some little herky-jerky glitches here. Now, I'm only up 200 feet, so nice, smooth, y'all. I'm gonna go back to normal mode. I can increase on the speed. Tilt it down a little bit more. I'll fly up here towards my house. Should be pretty much where I'm looking straight on. Let's go to sport mode, because we should be able to really look at that. Now we got into sport mode, and look at the it is booking now. You'll see in the video. And I can see here I'm coming up on my house. But yeah, that sport mode is more like, hey, I need to get back home. I need to get out somewhere to film. It's not gonna be good for filming. Here we should be coming up overhead. And there we are. What a cool drone. Let's go back to normal mode. Just fantastic. I mean, my goodness. $379 for this with 2 batteries, a really awesome carrying case, and a 32 gig SanDisk stream. Now you see I'm in my pajama bottoms here and my slippers because I didn't need to go far to do this little flight. But yeah, what an awesome drone, and really a no-brainer. I mean, if you don't need the most amazing camera, and this is a good camera, if you don't need obstacle avoidance and all that stuff, it just doesn't make much sense to go for anything else, because unless you go with the Mini 3 Pro, which has that, the obstacle avoidance, then you're basically, you're gonna be over that 250 gram limit with remote ID and all that stuff. The Mini 2 does not have any remote ID hardware. The Mini 3, I believe, does if it gets activated, but the Mini 2 doesn't. So you are good to go here in the United States, where I am. Yeah, just a little flying around here. I'm having so much fun, I don't want to end. Just really, really cool drone. Like I said, no limitations. You just have to abide by the same rules, but you don't have to worry about being able to be monitored by remote ID. Don't have to put an FAA number on it, which we have to put on now. So I don't have one on here because I don't have to, because my drone is 249 grams. So really, like I said, if you need obstacle avoidance and you think you're gonna hit something, then go for the Mini 3 Pro. That's up in the $600 and some range. If you want a slightly better camera, I think the Mini 3, I don't know if the Mini 3 has 4K at 60. This does 4K at 30, which we're filming right now. This controller from DJI works with the Mini 3, so you can find the Mini 3. They do sell it without the controller, and you can just bind this one to it, and you're good to go. Let me just back up here, and we'll bring it forward and land it, and we'll end this video. Just gonna hold the throttle down. We still have 32% battery. I'm sure when you get around 20, it's gonna want to come home, that cutoff. But yeah, good flight time of around half an hour. I had around 95% battery whenever I took off. I think a little less than that because I did that little intro you guys saw here I filmed. But yeah, just a fantastic drone and an absolute no-brainer. Even if you just buy the drone at the regular price of what, $440 for the drone and control, that's still a really good deal. But to think that I got the case, the card, and an extra battery for what, $70 less is just incredible. I think Sam's had a deal as well, similar. I didn't ever look at it, but it was a similar one that was going on as well. All right, guys, that wraps up my little view of the Mini 2 and Costco bundle Mini 2. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. If you like this content, click the bell. That way you're notified every time I do upload a new video. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
The power of the dark side.